Hi, this is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable. This is a Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 6th. I'm a little bit under the weather, so we're going to try to do this as fast as possible. People are watching live right now. We have right now about 10 people, so hopefully we'll get some good questions, and as we grow, hopefully a lot more people will join. The first thing I wanted to discuss was the August 2010 Google Webmaster report. We do this monthly report every month or so, based on a Webmaster World thread, and discuss the major changes that happened over at Google the past month. As summarized by Tedster at Webmaster World, here are the major things that have been talked about in the past month or so. A lot of people are talking about the minus 950 over-optimization penalty. This is something that goes back years and years. A lot of people say it's a penalty. A lot of people say it's all rubbish, as the people in probably the UK are probably watching now, so they say that a lot. Also, he says reports of ranking are going up, but traffic is going down, meaning a lot of people are saying that the Google search results are not sending as much traffic to people, even though they have very stable rankings. Two is he's saying that traffic cycles between poorly targeted and well-targeted are different, and even though the total stays level, the rankings are lost after a template change. And even though textual content and URLs do not change, the traffic fluctuates wildly during the day from day to day. So people are seeing fluctuations of their search terms. They do searches on a day-to-day or even hour-to-hour basis. Outside of that, we summarized probably the most important stuff that was covered over the past month. People are obviously the Google image design was a major change. Google updated their link reports to include a lot more link data. There was a minor Google PageRank update. Google is now going to be powering Yahoo Japan. Some reason Twitter usernames are ranking very well. Google's going to warn webmasters over dramatic site issues. Google has more information about their Google Alerts quality control. Google's now using dictionary.com answers, Webster, and the free dictionary for dictionary types of results. And there's so much more. So just take a look at this thread on August 3rd at seroundtable.com to learn more about what the major changes over the past month or so over at Google were. The next topic, which I found very, very interesting, was a Peter Norvig interview. He was interviewed by Slate.com, and he was talking about pretty much how people are wrong and when people are wrong, how that handles things. But I thought certain quotes in the interview were pretty interesting from a Google SEO perspective. And let me read this to you. He said, "Yeah, that's always a problem. One way we try to counter that diversity." We haven't figured out a way to get around the majority rules, so we want to show the most popular result first, but then after that, for the second one, you don't want to show something that's almost the same as the first, so you prefer some diversity. So there's a minority of view starts coming in. So basically what he's saying, and it's pretty interesting, is it's not necessarily the best or most relevant result that comes first. Instead, it's actually the most popular result that comes first. And that's fairly interesting in itself, but what he also says is the second result is also not the most relevant, it's also not the most popular, it's a diverse set of results that are not very similar to the first result, because they don't want to show something that's too similar to the first result, but at the same time, they want it to be relevant. So they want to show a popular but diverse set of results. So if you can't get the top rankings, maybe you want to say, hey, how do I be diverse enough, but yet relevant enough, and popular enough to be the second result as opposed to the first result? Again, people are noticing this as well, not necessarily in the second result per se, but more in the third or fourth result. Definitely take a look at that. He also said, in terms of PageRank, which I found was an interesting quote, is, and let me quote you, it sounds like PageRank uses consensus as a stand-in for credibility. That slippage is hardly unique to Google. All of us use consensus and stand in for credibility sometimes, but it can be pretty misleading. Meaning, people are using PageRank, the value of PageRank in the toolbar to determine how credible a website is, and he's saying that's a big mistake. People should not use PageRank in that standpoint. Again, that's two interesting quotes, August 5th at seroundtable.com. Moving on, this is also interesting. Over year after year, we are, time after time, we've been saying how Google specifically says that third-party links from competitors who are trying to hurt you cannot hurt you. We've heard it from Minimat, who was remember Minimat? He's actually no longer at Google. I mean, he's at Google, but he's no longer in the web search team. Is Adam Lasnik. So he basically said, years ago that links from third parties can hurt you, because if people were concerned that people who want to hurt your rankings will actually go ahead and get you bad links to your website. So time after time, Google says spam links can't hurt you, competitors can't hurt you, and most SEOs never believed that, but now Google's actually saying theoretically it is probably possible that competitors can use links to hurt your rankings. And I quoted John Moo at Google, and he basically said, let me quote you, but in practice, we have a lot of safeguards that help our algorithms to evaluate sites in useful ways. Our algorithms are pretty complex. It takes more than a handful of bad links to sway the opinion of even a website. Even in Webmaster Tools, it shows a million links. Then that is not going to change things if they're ignored. So basically, after he said that theoretically it's probably possible that third-party links can hurt you, he said why they probably won't. So I ran a poll asking webmasters and SEOs, do they believe that spam links can hurt you? We have about 225 responses so far, and the majority, about 75%, say yes, spam links can hurt you. So that's something new, even though it's something old. The next topic we discuss is that Google has actually cited MayDay as an excuse for why certain sites may have bad rankings. So on August 4th we wrote about this, and on August 4th we covered a thread over at Google Webmaster Help where John Moo at Google said in particular to a specific site that MayDay may be the reason for a specific site not ranking well. I don't think this is the first time Google has used MayDay as an excuse for certain webmasters, but it's always interesting to see Google specifically cite certain types of things for reasons behind that. Next topic is AdWords related. The big AdWords change this week is that in the UK, Canada, and Ireland, Google said on September 14th, I believe 14th, that the trademark policy in the UK, Canada, and Ireland for AdWords ads is going to change to be similar to the US policy, as well as policy over in other countries as well. That one, you can start bidding on trademark keywords, and two, that you can use trademark words in your ad copy. This is something that has been going on in the US since May 2009. People really actually like it for the most part, so we'll see if the UK and Canada and Ireland actually like it as well. But you can't use it in every case. You have to be very specific in terms of when you use these trademark keywords in your ad copy, because there's certain situations where you cannot do so. The next topic is Google Maps related. The big news in Google Maps is that you can now, if you're a business owner and somebody leaves you a nasty or a positive review under your Google Maps listing in obviously Google Maps, you can actually now reply to reviews. This is something very nifty, and people have been asking for this for a while because a lot of people are saying my competitors are leaving bad reviews, or a customer has a problem and there's no way to reach out to the customer. Now you can actually reply publicly to any review left on your public profile. There's more information about this on August 5th at SERoundtable.com. Here's another interesting Google Place tidbit. If you are submitting a new Google Place submission and you want to verify your Google Place result, Google Places again is the Google Maps business listings. If you use the word Google anywhere in that submission, either in the text of your copy, or you use an email address, google@mydomain.com, or you use in the URL, you use a tracking parameter just to say it's coming from Google Maps, Google will place that Maps verification listing in a hold pattern, and you will have to wait for a manual review from Google. That's something they've been doing for locksmiths, that's something they've been doing for other industries as well, but also for certain types of flagged keywords, and one of those flagged keywords is Google. So just be aware of that. Something I found pretty interesting, but obviously in hindsight that makes a lot of sense. Talking about Maps, Bing has revamped their Maps product. I can't really show it to you because I'm on a Mac, but basically there's two different versions now. One if you have Silverlight installed, which they're really pushing in every which way and in every way possible. Another look, if you're not using Silverlight, they have an AJAX version. The main changes, as Chris Pendleton from Microsoft, who's a real big map geek, obviously, as you can imagine, said, is that the cool colors visually recede, allowing warmer overlays to come forward. Road colors provide greater differentiation scientifically from red, yellow, green traffic overlays. Desaturation on zoom allows more continuous transition to photographic material such as aerial, bird's eye, and street views. Designed to work in black and white. There's also crisp, easy to read fonts and improved international coverage. So these are the major changes with Bing Maps. They announced it on, I think, August 4th. You can learn more at SEOroundtable.com on August 5th. Also Bing related, Bing Shopping is now free for all merchants, which is a major change. They used to charge you, I believe, a cost per click basis, and now it's free completely. Brian Smith at Comparison Engines was the first to spot this, and now if you want to go ahead and submit to Bing Shopping, you can do so for free. You have to fill out a form, and you have to be approved. But this has come in change when July 31st, when the cashback program has actually been discontinued. And again, if you want to go ahead and submit to Bing, you can do so. There is a new Bing Shopping help thread or help section at the Bing community. We have more information about this on August 3rd at SEOroundtable.com. All right, almost done here. 2 more topics. The next topic is MayDay, Caffeine, and 301 redirects. Back in March or so, there was a lot of buzz in the community that Matt Cutts, interviewed by Eric Enge, basically said that on some level, a 301 redirect will not pass the full amount of PageRank. There is some PageRank dilution and link popularity dilution when you 301 one page to another page, meaning the PageRank from page A redirected to page B will be diluted on a very minute level. Now people are saying, and I'm seeing this in certain forums throughout the SEO space, that since MayDay or Caffeine, we're not exactly sure which one, people are suspecting that PageRank dilution is a little bit higher than it used to be prior to the Caffeine and MayDay update. Caffeine is index specific, MayDay is algorithm specific, but they both were launched pretty much within a few days from each other. Outside of that, people are saying that since then, the dilution of the PageRank from a 301 URL is a lot heavier than it was prior to the MayDay Caffeine update. This is a theory that's been floating around. You can learn more and look at more links on August 6th at SEOroundtable.com. Finally, some of you might not remember, but a guy named Tim Meyer at Yahoo, basically he worked at pretty much almost every search company out there. He worked at Intome, All the Web, Yahoo, Overture. I think he worked pretty much all these places. And he tweeted 2 days ago that he no longer is working at Yahoo. He said, finishing on my first day post Yahoo, was very busy today, need to make more time for a long bike ride tomorrow. And that's the first we saw of Tim Meyer saying that he no longer works at Yahoo. Obviously Yahoo is no longer in the search algorithm space, so I guess there's no need for him to stick around. But he's on to some new venture. I'm curious what it is. I guess I should really ping him and ask him. But I've known Tim for a really long time now. I've known him for, I think it's close to 7 years now. We sat down first at PubCon, had a long chat. He was responsible for things like Yahoo Site Explorer, the no Yahoo directory tags, speaking at tons and tons of conferences. He even ran a radio show on webmasterradio.fm, plus so much more. Technically, Tim Meyer was the Matt Cutts of Yahoo, so him moving on is a major thing for Yahoo, and obviously that makes a major impact for Yahoo Search's future. But yet, again, Yahoo Search really has no future because they're being powered by Bing starting probably the end of this month. And actually, like we talked about last week, a lot of the Yahoo Search results are now being powered by Bing. I think about 30%, up to 30% at least, and a lot of people are seeing that now. So again, that's sad to see Tim Meyer move on from Yahoo, but I guess that's ultimately the case of what we see from Yahoo going forward. So that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable. This is the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com for the past week. Today, again, is August 6th, Friday. Thanks so much for listening, and everyone have a great weekend. Bye.